Hey guys, welcome to another key lesson. I'm Joe, and today we're going to talk about building Gotenks Display of Mastery. If you saw my last Deck Building 101 video, you saw that I cracked open one box, pulled a couple of the cards I want to build Gotenks, but not enough. At the moment, I haven't bought another box yet, so I won't be able to actually build it right now, but I'll be able to start thinking about what cards I want to go into it. And so to keep the videos bite-sized and to keep you updated on how my deck building is going, I'll release the Gotenks build part by part as I add to it. So question is, what will I put in the deck? The leader is pretty generic, so you can do pretty much anything you want with it. It does have an ability that takes advantage of using Union Fusion, but I've seen plenty of very strong builds that just ignore that completely. However, I definitely want to use it because I'm excited to play Adolescent Gotenks. There are a lot of things that you can say that Dragon Ball GT did wrong, but one of the biggest things in my books is they didn't use Gotenks at all. Okay, so I'm adamant that I'm playing the Gotenks engine in this deck. There are 3 different Gotenkses to use. There's the common one, the rare one, and the super rare one. Let's say for now that we'll go for a 3-3-3 split, and we'll probably want 8 and 8 of Goten and Trunks to make sure it's consistent. So that's 16 Goten and Trunkses and 9 Gotenkses. That puts us at 25 cards already spoken for. And then we'll want 4 super combos, obviously, and maybe about 4 negates. So that puts us at 33 cards, and we have a minimum of 17 left to fill, up to 27. Right, so far we have a Gotenks deck filled with Gotenks cards. But to work out what the rest of the deck will be filled with, and work out what our strategy will be, we'll need to think about what the Gotenks cards actually do. So looking at the leader, once per turn, we get to draw a card if our opponent uses an extra card. So we're not terribly upset if they negate our attacks. Awaken, we get to do that as well, and we get to switch one of their battle cards to rest mode. Looking at Gotenks Overwhelming Might, when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, negate its skills for its turn, and draw 1 card. And then we put him in the drop and get our Goten and Trunks back, and we can fuse again. Looking at the power of Fusion, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO it, and draw 1 card. And then he can go to the drop, get our Goten and Trunks back, and then we can fuse again. Going all out. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, negate its skills for the turn, and then KO it. So what we want to do is ensure we can rest as much of our opponent's battle cards as we can. There are unison cards we can throw in the deck that will help with that, but at the moment I only own the Broly, so I might do a whole nother video on that if I get my hands on the Gogeta and the Vegeta from the expansion pack. So I've gone through my folders just looking for cards, getting ideas, and I've come up with a few. First things first, if we're talking about mono yellow, which at the moment we are, we have Kefla from set 7 and Vegeta's Final Flash from set 9. Both of these require mono colored decks, mono yellow. Kefla, I'm not too confident that she's actually that good. Reading her, like, you pay her for 2, but you got to pitch a card. When you play, you got 2 options. You can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, switch it to rest, or you could KO something that's already in rest. So I mean, we've already got cards in the deck doing that sort of stuff. And then Vegeta's Final Flash is an activate battle, give you 15k. And then if all your energy is yellow, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, negate its skills for the duration of turn. So that's pretty useful. If we do play Kefla, we can get some extra value out of her using my next idea. A few Universe 6 cards. We've got Caulifla, that looks for top 5 for Universe 6. And then the Awakened Sister Caulifla. So she'll play in with the strategy as well, because when you're playing her, she's resting battle cards or energy. And then you can use the Caulifla negate. And then, seeing as we're using Universe 6, we could throw in the 1-drop Cabba to draw a card, the 2-drop that is a negate, and the Revenge Blocker. And then because we have all these Cabbas, we could use this Vegeta. And while we've still got cards that search for Universe 6, we got Hit, who he's a counter player who rests cards, so that's not bad. Costs 3 though. The next card I'm thinking of is Trunks, Saiyan Majesty. He is good because he's a yellow Trunks GT with 15k power, so you can use him as Union Fusion. So obviously we have the Trunks the Eager and Trunks Flash of Brilliance in set 10, but if you feel that Trunks Saiyan Majesty works better, you can swap him out, because once you're fused with him, he'll be in the drop, and then you can play his Activate Battle, remove him from the drop area to the warp, and rest one of your opponent's battle cards if energy cost of 4 or less. And while I'm looking at set 8 cards, there's Baby Vegeta. He can rest battle cards or KO rested cards. And then Pan, the Great Ape Whisperer. Now, the idea play with her is she comes out for free if you're awakening at 2 or less, which we're probably not going to want to do in this deck. But you could hardcast her. And then if you've got Gotenks going all out on the field, you've attacked twice with his dual attack, you could restand him with Pan, and then he gets, I'll have to check with the judge, but I'm pretty sure he'll get his dual attack back. Okay, so let's talk about negates. Two obvious choices might be Flying Nimbus and Time Magic, but my favourite negate is Paternal Bonds. It's pretty cool because you can rest one of your cards and then rest one of your opponent's battle cards. So you can rest your leader, you could rest a card that you wouldn't attack with anyway. And then there's Light Bullet, which is similar. It's kind of like a cross between that and Flying Nimbus. To complement that idea, there's Fired Up Super Saiyan Gohan. He'll restand 2 of your battle cards with energy cost 2 or more. So you can attack with them, Gohan will restand them, and then you can rest them again with Paternal Bonds. And then if you're resting your opponent's cards either through Paternal Bonds or any of your other effects, and you're up to turn 5, you could play Chilled the Cruel for free. Alright, it's time to talk about the monkey in the room. We're playing a yellow deck that pitches a lot of its own cards. I could make a whole other video talking about this card, Great Ape Son Goku, Saiyan Instincts. It's overpriced, let's just leave it at that. But it does make sense for this deck. We already have a lot of draw power, but we're also pitching cards, so it sort of evens itself out. We might want to draw more anyway. But I only own 1 copy of this card, and there's no way I'm going to buy one, unless it comes way down in price, which it might, because it's getting a reprint. So there's other options. Here's an obvious one, Kefla's Fury. It's a counterplay, but in other terms it does the same thing. Pay 2, draw 2. And just to finish off, here's a few other random cards that could fit in the deck. Vegeta, Striving to be the Best, Justice Blast, and Bardock the Enlightened. Bardock particularly is pretty great because you get to draw a card when you're resting one of your opponent's card, which we're doing a lot. Once per turn, that is. So the important thing to think about in all of these cards ideas, particularly the Universe 6 idea, is not to lose focus on what you're trying to do with the deck. So the main focus is Gotenks, and you want to be consistent. So if you're watering it down with lots of other crap, then you're doing yourself a disservice. That's where testing comes into play, and refining it, moving things around, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. On that note, I'm going to go test, move things around, see what works, see what doesn't. I'll come back with an update, so subscribe if you want to see how I go with that.